Hey, welcome back to the channel. Now, I have done a lot of Chromebook videos showing you how to install various apps from the Play Store and through the Linux beta support. Now, I've always done that testing on mid-range Chromebooks, and I wanted to see what I could do with a Chromebook in the low price range. With that in mind, I took a trip down to my local Walmart and got the $170 11-inch Lenovo Chromebook 3. I honestly wasn't expecting to be able to do too much with this Chromebook, but man, was I wrong. This has quickly become one of my favorite Chromebooks. Now, I'm going to tell you why, but first let's take a look at the specs and the build of this machine. Now, the build is an all-plastic build, and it does have some pretty hefty bezels around the screen, but it's actually a very, very solid build. There's very little screen flex, or deck flex for that matter, and the hinge for the screen is also very solid. Inside the Chromebook, we have a dual-core Intel Celeron N4020 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, and 32 gigs of eMMC storage. Now, that Celeron processor, even though it's only dual core, it's plenty powerful to run most of the apps that you'll be wanting to run on a Chromebook. The screen is an 11.6-inch panel with a resolution of 1366 by 768, and it's a very bright panel. I've been able to use this outside with no problem at all. Now, as you might expect on a lower-end Chromebook, the viewing angles are not great. The horizontal viewing angle is actually not that bad, but the vertical viewing angle is not great at all. Fortunately, the range of motion of the screen is great, opening almost flat, so finding the right angle is usually not an issue, and the screen is very clear once you find that perfect angle. One thing that's really nice about this Chromebook is it has a great selection of ports. On the left-hand side, we have a USB-C port, one USB 3.2 port, a micro SD card reader, and a headphone mic combo port. Now, flipping it around to the right-hand side, we have another USB 3.2 port, another USB-C port, and that lock slot that very rarely gets used by anybody. Up above the screen is a 720p HD camera. It's not great. I've seen better and I've seen worse. It's pretty much what you would expect on a cheaper priced laptop. Now, two things that typically suffer on lower priced machines are the keyboard and the trackpad, but fortunately that is not the case here. Now, keeping in mind this is a lower end device, the keyboard has great response, decent travel, and the keys are very well spaced out. This keyboard is actually really nice to type on, even for longer typing sessions. The trackpad is also good. It's a great size and it's very responsive. It's actually a much better trackpad than I've seen on some much more expensive machines. One thing that's fantastic with this Chromebook is the size and weight of the machine. At only about 2.5 pounds, it's fantastic and very easy to just grab, take with you anywhere, use it on the couch. The size is just big enough to give you good spacing for that keyboard, but small enough to make it extremely portable. Lenovo did a really nice job on this one. As for sound, there are two 2-watt speakers, and they're kind of what you would expect on a lower price portable computer. They're there, but they're nothing to write home about. Now, the last piece of hardware that I wanted to talk about is the battery. It has a 3-cell 42 watt-hour battery, which Lenovo claims will last about 10 hours. With normal usage, that's right about what I've been seeing as well. Anywhere from 7 to 10 hours, depending on what I'm running. If I'm using a lot of Linux apps, it's going to burn that a little more quickly than it will with Chrome apps or Android apps. Now, on that point, let's talk about what you can run on this Chromebook. Obviously, it has the latest version of Chrome OS, so you can run the whole library of Chrome apps. But in addition to that, it also has access to the Google Play Store as well as Linux beta support. I was really surprised this cheap Chromebook would have both of those. Now, you are limited to 32 gigs of space, and about half of that is taken up by the OS itself. So you're kind of limited on how much you can load. But fortunately, Android apps are normally very small. And with the recent implementation of Linux support, you can specify exactly how much storage you want to dedicate to Linux. In addition, those Android apps can be installed to an SD card. Now, I've installed multiple apps and games from the Play Store, and they've all run great. That N4220 processor is plenty fast enough for most Android applications and games. Installing things through Linux beta support has been just as seamless. Everything's been working great. I've been able to install Minecraft, GIMP, LibreOffice, all kinds of stuff, and they've all run very well as they do on my other Chromebooks. If you want to see videos on how to install some of those apps on your Chromebook, I'll put a link in the corner and down in the description to my Chromebook playlist that has all kinds of videos for different applications. The overall performance of the Chromebook is just great in Chrome apps, Play Store apps, and Linux apps. Considering the price, portability, decent keyboard and trackpad, as well as the performance, I feel like Lenovo really knocked it out of the park with this one. It's not the best Chromebook that money can buy, but at only $170 US, it's definitely much more than I was expecting for a Chromebook at this price point. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, leave those down in the comments section below. If you found this useful or informative, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you really liked it and you want to see more videos like this. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video.